Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining me for another exciting 3D Shenanigans session where we're going to do 3D Shenanigans. Wonderful to see you all. Miss Camilla is here. Congrats on the new graphics card. Once it arrives, please do let me know how it compares and also what it replaces currently on your old PC. I think a better graphics card is a great investment into even an older system. My system is old, but good graphics cards really swing it around when we work with 3D. The Sacred Sage is here. Mr. Brian is here. And my mother is here, Martina Versluis. Thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate that. I hope you're going to enjoy what we're going to do today. Mr. Jeremy is here, and the Vince. I hope he's back. And anyone else who's out there watching, thank you so much for dropping by. Oh, it'll replace a 1070 Ti. Yes, that is a quite a leap up indeed. I'm still hanging in there with my 2080 cards in this system. My streaming PC has one 3060 card, and that is also great. The 3060 is just as fast as the 2080, but it has more RAM. So if you're ever interested in picking up one of those for $300-400 currently, then some of those cards, like the 3060s, they come in two versions. They come in a Ti version and a non-Ti version. Usually the Ti versions are better because they're faster. But on the lowest end one, like the 3060, the Ti version is faster, but the non-Ti version usually has more RAM. So that is the one I recommend for 3D work. But if you have the 3070, that is even better. 3080, that is even better. So very, very cool, Camilla. And the Iceman is here. Good afternoon indeed. Eric wanted to know, thank you for dropping by, Eric, by the way. Eric wanted to know, what does WP actually stand for? It's a very good question, and I should really explain that on my website a little bit better. So when I started making YouTube videos in 2008, I think, that was quite a while ago. It was like I had a personal YouTube channel, and I was setting up a lot of WordPress websites at the time. And as such, my friends and colleagues gave me the moniker, "You are the WordPress guru." And that is where that comes from. So I had a website with WordPress tips and tricks that was called the WordPress Guru, but it was something that so at the time, the WordPress team said, please don't use that in URLs and trademarks because we own the trademark. You can use the abbreviation WP and it's all good. And so I changed it to the WP Guru. So it's something that other people called me, and I found that very nice. I would never really refer to myself as guru, somebody that knows anything and everything. That's just really just not me. I always feel like I'm a beginner no matter what I do, and I constantly keep learning. And so, yeah, my friends called me then, and I thought, hey, that's kind of nice. As a term of endearment, I'm going to call the website that. Changed it, had the branding, and then I did many other things on my YouTube channel, first with iOS tutorials, and then just with all kinds of other tech tutorials, and then eventually I settled on something like, the 3D hobby that I have. And the branding was there. The channel had already reached a certain amount of subscribers, and I thought, I'm just going to leave it. I have the branding. It doesn't really mean anything to anymore today. But at one point, I thought maybe it could also mean web professional. And then nowadays, I think my wife and I make this joke that WP now stands for wonderful person. So there we go. Meg is here. She 3PO is here. Wonderful to see you all. I think I'm going to start the day with a little bit of music. Perhaps from my acoustic library. If I go and switch it on, see if we can actually hear it. Can we? I can hear stuff. I don't know if it's loud enough, but do let me know. If it isn't, we're going to totally change that. Meg is here. Meg, that is wonderful to see you, because today I'm going to do a little bit of blundering, I thought. So there's two things I want to check out. One is that when we brought in these Mixamo animations from AJ and Claire, I've discovered more or less by fluke that they have other facial expression and mouth expressions on the 2D texture. And we can actually go and change that if we know how to animate those parts of the material library inside Blender. I've tried that in DAZ Studio. In fact, let me just show you this. Can I show you this? I think I have it somewhere. I made this little animation here. This was in DAZ Studio. Can I find it? I can't find it, of course. Of course I can't. Where is it? Could be in videos. Could be. No, it's in... I know where it is. I know where it is. I know where it is. It's in hours later as Jay searches his masterclass trailer. This is it. This is it here. Animation. Is this it? That's it. Exactly. So this is something that I've rendered in Dash Studio, but it came, the principles will work in Blender as well. So this is AJ on the right, and this is Claire on the left, and I've given AJ a couple of eye blinks here, and it makes it just add so much more life to the whole animation. Do you see that there? And this is something that I wanted to show you how to do that in Blender as well. So it's the same 3D object, and he is rigged, but he doesn't really have anything in his eyes there. So I thought that is just beautiful to do that, and you do that just by shifting the eye material over. And so I'll show you how to do this in Blender. I'm going to actually try to do this in Blender. Not that I've ever tried it, but hey, one of those things. So the other thing I'm very interested in is something that I've read about a while ago, and that is the fact that the Substance team, the Adobe Substance team, have an integration that makes it possible to use Substance materials in Blender thanks to an add-on that we're going to download and install, something that I've tried a bit, like maybe last year on Blender 3.0 or Blender 3.1, and I think the version is kind of evolved, and it's just beautiful to be able to use better materials easier in Blender. And since we have such a large material library from the Substance people, both free as well as paid for, I thought maybe I can get this working. So those two things are planned for today. There we go. Let me thank you, Eric, for referring to me as a wonderful person. I like that. So I think, as I have never tried the whole animating materials, let me just see how we might go about doing that in principle. So what I would do with my friend, the default cube here, I would first of all give him an animatable texture. So the way we do this with AJ is that we go and shift his texture around. So the cube currently doesn't have anything. So let me go and start by just adding something onto the cube, and we'll see what how we go about doing that. So the cube has a material, that's nice, but it only has a base color here. So that lets us change the color to add something like a texture to it. We need to first have a texture node and then put a material into that node. So Shift A, I think this is just me thinking out loud here. It is actually an image texture that we need. Color goes into here. And we see nothing. And now we need a texture. So I'm just going to go and create one. I'll call that checkers, just so that we know what it is. I don't need an alpha, and I'm going to go and use a color grid. Hit OK, and that makes this picture. So if I go and pick that now from my node here, checkers, then we have that. Perfect. So that's my cube, and it does, currently nothing. But if we were to try and animate just the position of the texture, I need another node. I think it goes in the vector node. I think it might be a mapping node. I could probably also get away with a vector transform node. Can we? We might. No, let's not do that. Let's just try mapping node. So vector mapping. Yes, I like it. Good stuff. Vector goes into here, but I think as soon as we do that, the texture will disappear. And that's because the vector node he wants an input essentially. So for location, rotation, and scale. So I think we're concerned with the location of this. So I'd like to shift the letters around. So I think for that, I need another node, and I think that might just be a UV coordinate node. Is it? UV map? No, UV something like coordinate. Texture coordinate, that's what I'm looking for. That here. And I'll go and take the UVs out and pop it into location. And that should bring my texture back. No, it hasn't. Yes, it has. Good stuff. Good stuff. And that now allows me to make rotational changes? No, it doesn't. Hey, what a shame. Does it make... Yeah, there we go. So the vector can be changed this way. And Z doesn't do anything, but X and Y do stuff. So that allows me to change that position on here. That way or that way, since we don't know which way we go. I think on AJ, we go both ways, actually. We go both up and left and right. Up and down as well as left and right. So knowing that, I can go and animate any of these values by... Well, first of all, we need a timeline here, which we don't have in the shading view, but I'm going to go and misappropriate this here because I don't think I need it. This is like the typical Blender thing. If newcomers see this in Blender, you go, what? Do you know, I think you will be, Meg. I think Unreal Engine works very similar to just moving this around. I think it should work. I think it'll be overkill to swap out the material, so you just have to animate the UV texture. And we can even try it out in Unreal Engine, see if I'm capable enough of doing that. We'll see. So here I think I need my timeline. Timeline here, there it is. Timeline. And I'll go and set a keyframe on the first frame here. Like just with I, any of these values, so sometimes you have these little dots on the side. That'll do the trick. I've just noticed I'm not showing you my highlighted cursor, so that makes it a little difficult to see what I'm doing. The Deviant is here. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. There we go. So when I hover over any of these things and press the I button, then I set a keyframe. You can also use any of these little dots if you see the values not exposed as a node. So this is also going to set a keyframe. I'm just going to do it this way with I. I, he says. No, doesn't work. Dang! There. Select and then press I. And then we move this forward to say frame 51, and at that point I would like it to have shifted to something like this, or maybe shifted to something like that, so that we see a different color here, like 0.7. Is that good? Let's say 1. 1's good. So then in here I'm going to set another keyframe, and then when I move this, the texture actually moves, which is really cool. That is seriously amazing. So that is how we make it work. So these principles should also apply to AJ then. So AJ is set up with a material like this. So just to refresh my memory, then I need a mapping node to put that into the vector. Then I need a texture coordinate node to put that into the location of the mapping node, and then I can make the adjustments on the mapping node. Let's see if we can make this work on AJ and make him eye blink, or Claire. New scene. I love figuring these things out. Sometimes it's difficult, but you know, together we can do it. Import. I think I have that animation that I've downloaded from the thing last time here. Do we I don't actually remember now. Sitting and pointing, those are not the... Last time I had this filter, didn't I? Oh, there it is. Like filter by... No. By modified date, that's what I mean. Just sitting too, maybe was it that? Standing, arguing, yes, those were the older ones. So sitting, just sitting, that was okay. It wasn't sitting. Maybe I'll say sitting 1. See if that is the person I'm looking for. Both Blender and Unreal, yes. Okay, this is Claire. I think we can probably use Claire. Switch over to the rendered view. There she is. And her animation is a little longer, so maybe 288. I'll make that the last frame of the animation. And we have all these overlays here, so I don't think we need to see the bones. And then, of course, we don't need to see the highlights at all. So this is what she looks like now. She's got this idle animation. And she's got the tattoos and everything. That's perfect. It's sitting there patiently. So let's see if we can animate her eyes. Yes, I think. Do you know what? If you can just add the eye blink here, I think you can then just export it as an FBX. It might actually work because I don't know how Unreal Engine handles that, but let's see. So we have this. If it handles the UV changes that we're gonna make here in the shading tab. So first of all, I think we need to figure out which material it is that has the eye blink on it. So I think there's several here. This is the mouth, and these are the eyes. So are these the eyes? Those are the brows. But there's something else, isn't there? Yeah, there we go. That's it. The eyes matte. So those are all different materials here. We have this one is the color matte, and these are all the shapes. So they're using the same texture for the eyes as well as the mouth. So the mouth has the same textures on it. It's just a different material zone. And if we wanted to animate that, we need to animate both independently from another. But thankfully, they use the same texture. So this is the base color. So we need to go and put something into my vector input here, which was. I've already forgotten it. Was it a mapping node? I think so. Mapping. Yes, that was it. So a mapping node goes into here. That removes her eyes, which is terrible, of course. Then we go and put I think the eyes all go away and stuff. Crazy stuff. And then we go and add not the UV, it's the texture coordinate, isn't it? Texture coordinate, that's the one. And the UVs of that go into the location, didn't it? Was that it? Or was it actually the other way around? Does that go into the vector and then we just change the location? No, it doesn't. If we go put, yes, we can do it that way. We can do it that way. And this then changes different eyes, I guess. We may have to do the same on the transparency node. We have the same slightly further down here on the alpha node. So we need to plug that output also into the alpha so that the transparency value matches. But that's okay, isn't it? That makes sense. Even put that vector into here, I think. So now when we go, come back. Yes, good stuff. So now when we go and change a value here, like say on X, then both values change properly. So this is looking slightly shifty. Well, those are the mouths, so that's not what we need. See where the closed eyes actually are. So that might also be up and down. Let's try Z. Oh, Z doesn't do anything, sorry. X then. No, X we just tried. Y then. It's just about finding the right spot on the texture map. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this if you were to go and animate this with a little touch thing. I would imagine you can do all kinds of these things. See where the closed eyes are. This could be the closed eyes. Or these could be the closed eyes. I have a feeling I'm in the wrong column when I go up and down. Just out of curiosity, what happens if I put the UV into the location? And then if you ever wanted to create like get rid of something, I think you hold down Alt and then right click, and then you can drag, no, sorry, Control and right click, and then you drag this little knife over here, and then you cut this out. Yeah, so it's the same result that we're getting. I think I'm happier using these values here, because they just they're fairly like 0.1 shifts the texture value over the way I need it. So I can just go and you know, do this and find my exact eye blink there. That just makes my life a little easier. Eventually it loops. So, but if I go to the next column and then I'll just go up and down, I'll see if I can find the right position here. That's also not the correct one. Maybe this one. There we go, that's an eye blink. Maybe we'll just go stick with that. So it's the more aggressive eye blink. I have a feeling we have a better one. Like this one here. Let's go and let's use this one. That one. Maybe that's a nice eye blink with the eye shadow. Restrict the matrix. Tux, I have no idea how to do that. But I'm so glad that you're here, because I've been meaning to ask about Animorph. I've been trying to put that new version online, and I remember you and we talked about this last time. And I, for the life of me, cannot find the new version, and I don't remember who made it. It was just so cool. It's were you involved in this? It's just one of those things, my mind has thrown a blank there. Please let me know if you were involved in the new version that makes the colors look a little bit nicer in the dialogue. Please let me know and send me another new version, and I'll put it on my GitHub repository straight away. Thank you so much. It's one of those things I've been searching, and I was thinking, where is that? Have I never put that online? And it's one of those time constraints, I guess. It just never quite happened. So thank you, Tux. I appreciate that. You can, if you're not in my Discord, you can contact me via Twitter if you want to message me. That'll work. VN, Camilla, is a visual novel. It's something that lets you. It's usually a collection of 2D images, sometimes animations, and it lets the player kind of read and kind of reading a comic, but you also make decisions that bring the story into a different direction. Yes. So 0 was the regular eyes, and then 0.2 and 0.8 were the blinking eyes. So just like before, I'm going to go and turn this here, misappropriate this into a timeline. It's not the idealist thing in Blender. I could also put a shader window somewhere else, but I think maybe this is going to be enough. So I'm going to go and bring this back. Restrict the matrix. That's very cool. I have no idea how to do that. Gonna learn something else. I'm gonna go and put an eye into here, and maybe for the first 50 frames we not make her do anything, and then add frame, say 51. I'm gonna set another keyframe, and then 3 frames later. Oh, actually no. So at frame 51, we want the eyes to be open. Then I could do this with a linear interpolation, or I can just use the next frame. That'll be the point at which we say point. I think was it 0.8? No, it was it 0.8 and then 0.2? Was that it? No, it was the other way around, wasn't it? It's 0.2 and 0.8. There we go. That is my next keyframe. So and then I go and leave this for 1, 2, 3 frames. So up until here. Next keyframe here, and then another keyframe goes here, and that's going to be 0 and 0 again, and and that's our first keyframe done and dusted. So if I'm lazy, I can just go and copy these out and paste them somewhere else. I might actually just go and do that. Copy those out, and I'll say maybe at frame 100. Or maybe in frame 90, I'm going to go and do that again. Control V, and that makes her blink at that point. And then once again, maybe at frame 150. And maybe again at here, and then maybe one more time somewhere here. Okay, and that should also work in the regular view. Under layout, but then again, might not. So let's see. Do you blink? Yes, you do. I like it. So I suppose in addition, we could now have something like her looking around, like left and right, or you can make the eye blinks shorter. You don't have to use 3 frames at every time. You can make one a little bit shorter and one a little bit longer, so that adds a little bit of variation. And you can change that from here as well. So this, these two, they could just move one frame over. So this eye blink's now a little bit shorter. Whoops. Shorter eye blink, there we go. Or even shorter if you wanted to do that. So very cool. I wonder what happens if you now export this and as an FBX, if Unreal Engine will acknowledge this. Eye chart matrix, blink is 8 down. Wow, you can tell? Tux, you're the man. I have no idea where you even saw that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's not it. Oh, because it starts at 0, doesn't it? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, yeah, this is it here. That's how you did that. Oh, right. Look at that. You're an experienced animator. That is why. There's always a way, and Jay will find it. Very funny. Hey, I'm really pleased that that was as simple as that. That's very cool. I'm interested in finding out, just making that making her just look. Maybe here I might just go and have a look left and right, something like that. Like blink and then just go from here to over there, just go left and then straight back. I might try that from here, eye to kind of maybe here. Or rather, you know, yeah, here. So literally the next frame over, we're going to find a way for her to look left and right. Let's see if I can go by your logic then. If I'm thinking this one here, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3. That is the wrong way. Oops. Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That's fine. Let's do that. So just a point 1 from here to literally here. So that also needs to be 0.1. Nope, that's not it. Was it minus 0.1? Was that it? Yes, that's it. So make sure that that doesn't interpolate here. We don't really want to do that. We're changing the eye look a little bit, but it kind of works to put that little bit of extra life into her. That is very cool. And I can probably go and just copy those things out once again. If there is a way, Jay will find it. I like that. Thank you. And just try to put that maybe here at the end, like that. And we don't have to use the same direction. We can go the other way, I think. Yes, instead of this, let's make her look further that way, maybe. Why not? Does that work? Have we screwed it up? It's nice. It just gives the figure the extra life. It's kind of, I love it. I love it already. Isn't that cool? That is just so cool. And the more of it you do, all of a sudden you've got a figure that is alive. So like, you know, next thing you just make the fingers bounce and just, you know, keep adding things, and all of a sudden you've got this living creature. Isn't that cool? See what else we can do with the maybe over here at the very beginning. Maybe we can have a look up as if she's, you know, as if she's waiting for something that hasn't quite happened yet. I like that. Maybe from here just to here. Let's try that. Let's see what else we can come up with. And I agree, the timeline placement here isn't ideal. It's just the easiest way to do this, I guess. So maybe from here to here. Keyframes, and then the next frame along. Like looking up. I'm sure we have looking up. Or just wincing. Wincing is good as well. Wincing is at the back. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 9. So maybe wincing. If we don't really have looking up. 9. See if this is correct here. Still trying to figure out which one that is now here. Where we actually are. That's this, so that gets us across, I think. Does it? I can't quite tell. Or we just do something else. That's also cool. We can just go and do this like the shifty eyes. Looking left. Maybe I'll do that. 0.2 and 0.9. I'll do that. From here to there. One further back. 0.2 and 0.9. And I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. Very nice. Let's go and copy that again. See where else we can put that. Maybe just here. Show us what you got, Claire. Fantastic! I love it! Well, and then if some of the movements are a bit too extreme, you can just go and tweak them. So like maybe here, I was thinking she's looking right a little bit too long. So we just go and take those two keyframes and move them back a little. And then that movement is a bit shorter. Good stuff. Or maybe that eye blink is a little bit too long. Move it over a frame. Very cool. Claire is now alive. It is, isn't it? Absolutely cool. I'm super impressed with these things. So I've not tried this before, and I just literally just thought about how could I make this happen, and then it works. So I think that's also magical about Blender, that once you understand the principle of how Blender works, all of a sudden many other things make sense. So at first it's like this huge learning curve, but then, my goodness, also we don't want to see that, so maybe I'll render this out. Definitely save it. Make her smile. That's a good idea. Let's have another layer on the mouth. That's a good idea. Let's see if we can animate the mouth here. Let's see what we can actually do with the mouth. Mouth. So that is, we need, that's another material then. That's actually quite nice. So we go and do it all again. So once again, we have an alpha and a normal. And it also means I'll hopefully then remember how to do this. So the alpha and the normal, alpha and the base, they both need that texture coordinate node. Well, actually, that goes into the mapping node, so we then go need that mapping node. And like we saw, it doesn't seem to make much of a difference if we put that into vector or location. So just to make it easy, we just go put that into location, and then we change the vector on it. And then that vector from the mapping node goes into the mouth, as well as into the alpha channel. And then we'll see what the mouth shapes have to offer. Whoops, that's too far over, so we only have these 2 columns here, I suppose. No, 3 columns. This one, that one, and that one. And then we have... Maybe she yawns! Well, you can actually make her talk that way then. So these are, these are kind of the seams, aren't they? That's too funny. That's the first one. And then the next one. That is just too cool. Sticks tongue out. Oop. Went too far, so it loops eventually. So if you go over it, then we just keep saying the same things. But is that a mouth as well? That's more like an eyebrow, isn't it? I think that those are the brows. Yeah, those are the eyes and the brows. Yeah, and those are the eyes as well. Very cool, though. I see this used in game development. I think the last one I've noticed that it was done like that. Well, a classic is, of course, the old Zelda games, like on the GameCube and stuff. Link has had faces like that. But the PC game, fairly recent PC game, was A Knight's Quest that looks a little bit like that as well. And when the character moves and blinks, that's all just like 2D expressions on the thing. Very cool. Yes, it's the one is the alpha indeed. So if we go and take that out, so this is like the second strand that goes in the alpha. Control right click would take that away. Hello, Blender. Did you do it? Control right click, cut. Yeah, there we go. And then when we change the value, then the alpha doesn't come with it, so that looks that would look odd. So that's why I added that the second channel. It's the same texture though. Oops. Sweet. I don't really know what expression we could give her. Maybe a smile. It's a bit too much, but it's a smile. Let's do that. 0.6 is the smile. So from... Oh yeah, I said we're gonna do... keyframe at the beginning. Frame, let's say 26. Another keyframe here. Another frame over. 0.6 for the big smile. I to hover and then press I to get the keyframe, and then we can just make a smile for quite a while. Leave it like this and then go one frame later we go 0. And then maybe go and copy that. Oh, you're still smiling. What are you doing? No, don't smile. Did I forget to set a keyframe? Yeah, I think I did. 0 and I. There we go. Copy those things and then paste them over a few frames later. Smile again. Or do a different expression at that point. Also possible. Subtler smile, maybe. Yeah, an interpolation isn't going to work because that'll just look crazy. So we must make sure that doesn't happen. Which one did I say now? It was 1. Oh, that wasn't actually anything. 1 was just the same as the beginning, wasn't it? So maybe then just this one, 0.9. There we go. That's it. 0.9. Ding! There. See what that looks like. That first smile might be a little bit out of the uncanny valley, but she's genuinely happy, so that's good. Fantastic. Very interesting. Kemi, top of the morning, or top of the afternoon in your case. And the Yoshi is here as well. Good to see you too. The smile is adorable. Yes, I totally agree. Any website where I can get free 2D stuff like mouths and eyes and such, free for commercial use, you can try Canva. Canva have a freemium model and they have all kinds of clip artwork, and they have a large free section as well as a commercial section. So I think commercial is $10 a month, but the free section you can use, I believe you can use commercially. Canva.com, have a look at that with the C. I'm going to pop it in the chat. No promises that they have what you're looking for, but they have a great amount of artwork that you can just go and do all kinds of things with. I use it for thumbnails frequently when I'm uninspired, or when I need to kind of just clarify something in a single small image, which is not an easy feat. Then you can do that. Ping tree, PNG tree. Okay, I've never heard of that. Start with a subtle smile and then add to the grin. That might actually be better. Tuck, that's a very good idea. Let's try that. So let's do this slightly later. Can I just go and X that out of here? Or just go move them. Move this over kind of here. And then we put these over here. Copy those out. Pop those in here. So then let's see if we can find an even stronger smile than that. Since we have so many of these things. Big grin comes here, and then maybe I'll go and copy this one out just so that I have the keyframe structure here and put that over here. And then we'll leave this and see if we can find a stronger smile here. Restricting the matrix. That is now, it's kind of something I find interesting. I don't know how to even do that. Or maybe she's grumpy here. Let's do that. A little bit of a smile, a little bit of a grumpy thing. That's cool. So that's 0.4. I. And then here 0.4 there. And then we have that. Then she might be happy again, or we do something else. Yeah, maybe like that. Maybe she's not quite sure what's going on. What these crazy 3D people do with her. Does that work? And then we have a big smile. Yeah, look at that. Let's try. Variation. Set min max value. Oh, okay. I know that principle from DAZ Studio. I never looked into it in regards to Blender. Let's see if we can find it. I would imagine it's something like a... Yeah, do you know what? I have a feeling they're probably going to make it... It's not on this node. I probably would have to put a different node in front of this, right? Or into here, like a restriction node. That might be, so that this vector can't be used like that. Let's see, Shift A. And it probably has something to do with the vector. Bump displacement, mapping, curves, transform. That is not something I'm familiar with. But yeah, that's probably, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Use a different mouth for each keyframe. Yeah, exactly. And then play it back at 60 frames. See what happens. Chris the Legend Cox is here. Hey, very cool. I'm going to go and save this and we'll see if we can make... Look, Chris, this is cool. This is what I've made this morning with literally no knowledge of where to even begin. Figure moves, figures free from Mixamo. And we gave her eye blinks and mouth movements. And it just looks so cool, doesn't it? Big smile. I love it. Maybe I can integrate her into my overlay somehow. I'm going to have a look into something even scarier, and this is kind of leading on from what Chris and I were discussing yesterday on the DAS Plus stream, namely how to bring DAS objects into Substance Painter and apply materials and then bring them out again into DAS Studio. That was a good session, by the way. Thank you so much for doing that, Chris, and thank you everyone who was watching. Very cool. Today, I thought while I'm in Blender, I'd like to have a look at how we can use Substance materials inside Blender. So it's less about using Substance Painter, but more make use of the huge array of free materials and also commercial materials that are available from the Adobe Substance site, and how we can use them directly in Blender. Apparently, there's a way, not something that I was that successful with when I tried it last time. That was on a different version of Blender, I think 3.0, 3.1. But maybe I can make it work in Blender 3.2. Dragonate is here! How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. She looks like she's got ADHD. Yeah, kind of. Hey, I'm gonna go and save her and maybe keep working on her. I really like the idea that we can use Mixamo characters and we can already blend animations together. Now we can even make them talk. So I mean, that's just like, I'm sure somebody's written something in which you can associate mouth shapes with speech. That'd be kind of cool to marry those two things up. What am I going to call it? Where am I going to put it? Where am I going to put it? Perhaps in Dropbox, maybe in my Blender folder. Yeah, that is large. But let's go and add another folder to it. Or let's say we call it, yeah, Claire 2D animation. For now. Claire 2D, save as. Very cool. Blender, you are wonderful. So we'll start with a brand new scene, and of course the first thing we do is we read the documentation about this. I might go and put this link into the chat. This is the link to the Substance, Substance, where was it? Here, Substance. This is a press release from July 2021, so it's a year ago. The Substance 3D add-on for Blender is here, and this is how you download it. It tells you a little bit of how to use it. They have a tiny demo here. So essentially, from what I gather, is it brings up a tab that lets you import the materials and then add them to existing material zones in Blender. And it also then lets you adjust the parameters like you could in Substance Painter. Like, you know, make it a different color, make it, you know, make the variation a little bit different if it's a procedural material. And this is a usage video. And on the bottom here, they tell you something else, namely that they have a Mixamo auto control rig plugin for Blender. And that is something that I have not looked into. I think I tried, but I couldn't make it work. But the idea is that you use the same auto rigger that you have inside Mixamo to rig your figures inside Blender, and then you give them a small control rig so that they become easier posable inside Blender. So I'm not going to look into that, but just know that it is on that link as well. It's kind of sweet to know about this. Let me go and download this. So click here. Let's see what happens. Might need to log into your Adobe account while we're here. Poor default cube. Yeah, he always gets deleted, doesn't he? Thanks for participating. Oh, I didn't know I was participating in anything. That's cool though. Download the latest version of the Substance 3D add-on for Blender. To upgrade, please follow the specific instructions. I don't think I have anything in here yet, but I'll double check. I don't think it was with this version that I tried it out. Allows you to load Substance materials directly into Blender and apply modifications by tweaking parameters. Official Blender version 3.0 and backwards compatible. Windows, Mac and Linux, that's cool. Upgrade if you create custom presets. We're not going to do that. It's just a straightforward installation. Do we have that? Substance installation. Download. Check Open Blender. Top navigation, edit, preferences, add on Windows, zip file, awesome. When you say download the latest version, is there actually a download link anywhere? And then there's also integration tools. Oh, that makes things much more interesting. Download for all platforms. What, do I need both these things then? I could have made that a little bit more clear, don't I? So I have one here, Windows Substance 3D integration, and then I have one here, all platforms, version 5. Did they explain that? Did I just read over that? Yes, I suppose. Substance 3D integration tools. Install this only after first installing the Substance 3D in Blender add-on. Okay. Okay. That would be a nice one, actually. So let's download this one first. I suppose we install this one first. Default cube is still here. Check it out. Maybe we're going to use him to apply material to him. Add-ons. Just to make absolutely sure, I don't think I have any substance. Let's see, I have. Aha. Node. Adobe Substance 3D add-on for Blender. Aha. So I need to go and uninstall that first. Just because I have a feeling that's probably an older version. So remove that. Good stuff. Yes, remove. I'm sure I've never used it with this version of Blender, but maybe an older version has kind of integrated its settings or something. Who knows? Substance Blender integration thing. Substance 3D in Blender. Let's do that. Add on. Add that. Do that. We've done that. Now they reckon you also need to have this. Install this, then install that. Same idea. But platform specific, so Windows thing. Integration. Could be this one here. Integration tools. Install add-on. Did you do it? I didn't actually see it doing anything, but I suppose it must have done. Or is that not how I do that? Did I get that wrong? Do I need to install that somehow differently? Jay, read the instructions, goddammit. Our add-on will install integration tools separately on your computer. Then, so... install from disk. That should work then, shouldn't it? Let's see. So, provided that I don't need to restart Blender, if I open N, I have another tab open. All right. That is extremely cool. So maybe it's worked. I mean, I have no idea, has it? Does my cube have a material? First of all, yes, it has a material. That's awesome. So now, open the file browser to select a Substance 3D material. This is exciting. Do I have one? I think there might be one in my downloads folder. Namely this one, the leopard print, inspired by something that Chris was using on his stream. Let's go and pop that on. Then it shows up here. And then one of these icons here should be to apply it to the actual material. Let me go and put this into my texture, or my rendered view, GZ1, so that it's right dead in the center. So it's not on the material, but if I change this material, I should see a color change. Yeah, perfect. That's sweet. So is this refresh the substance material? No, this is duplicate. Apply. How about the apply button? Let's do that. Ding. Yes! Leopard print stuff on the cube. Awesome. It's low res, but that can be changed here, so we can make that higher res. Yes! I love it! Oh my! Substance materials inside Blender. Good heavens! The stuff we can do with that! Now making a pair of leopard print undies. Hey, you laugh, we can do that. We can export a pair of undies from DAZ Studio into Blender. Maybe apply this type of material. That would be really nice. I don't see any funky height or whatnot information in there. So maybe if we find a material that has, you know, something like flaky wood or something like rusted metal or something, I think you can do that from here. This here is Substance 3D community assets, so this gets you to the website with the free assets, and I think this here gets you to the ones you pay for. Might as well treat ourselves and go and, you know, get one of the professional assets. It knows I'm logged in. Healthcare selection. Food. Yes, I like it. Browse all food assets. Turn the cube into a pineapple or something. How come some things I have to upgrade for, whilst others banana skin I get for free? Nacho chips. Chocolate. The chocolate tab. Who doesn't like that? Salmon flesh grilled. Blueberry compote. Strawberry skin, that might be nice. So that should show us some indents. Or cheese. Emmental. It's very specific. SpongeBob in leopard print speedos. Just make sure the S doesn't fall off, because that'd be rude. Cucumber skin looks more like lime. It's dual function, dual purpose. Potato wavy chip. Careful, they're ruffled. French croissant, I like it. Pumpkin skin. Chocolate bar. Ooh, even better. And it comes with variations. Stop it right there. Corn flesh. Cake slice. It depends on what cake. But oh, nice. Yes. Pickle skin. Oh, they're all nice, aren't they? How many credits do I have? 318, so I can get 318 materials. I can get them all if I wanted. Soft ice cream, kiwi skin, crushed tomatoes. And these, no, Jay, sorry. You're going to have to give us 3 times the amount of money that you're already giving us. $80 a month is not enough, Jay. You need to give us more. Maybe tomorrow, Adobe. Maybe tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe the strawberry skin here. No, actually that, maybe all of them. Let's go strawberry skin. Let's do that. Good stuff. And maybe also the chocolate bar. This one here, I'm kind of partial to that. Let's try those out. I like it. Groovy. Broccoli and rhubarb, or both. So, load. Downloads folder. Chocolate tab. Pop in here. Processing. While you're processing, can I download another material? While we're here? Strawberry skin. This is exciting. Just put the chocolate tab on the cube. So apply. And yes! Chocolate bar! I don't see particular height information though. I gotta be brutally honest here. I'm not seeing it. that's higher res, but of course we need to change things here so that my cube looks like a chocolate bar cube. How about the UV things? I have a feeling that's probably not in this tab. Normal format, look at that, OpenGL versus DirectX, look at that, and it knows Blender needs OpenGL. That's very cool. That's what we need in DAZ Studio as well. So it already knows that. But height? I'm not seeing it. Is it because... Oh, it's because I'm not looking at the rendered view. Duh! Jay! It's the material preview. Still not seeing height. What the... Oh, hey, it's the Neville! Good to see you! Do you know, making the eye blink animations for Claire reminds me that we can probably use more characters that walk over my overlay like this. So replacing the mouse, not so much replacing, but adding other things to my overlay that we don't always have just the mouse. Maybe having a shark swimming and maybe having Claire walking around waving and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool. That's a nice little project. No height though. Got normal, got roughness, got alpha. Oh yeah, we can untick those and then we see none of these things. So displacement is definitely here. It's just not doing it. Portions quantity. You can make that less. But nothing actually changes. Okay, good stuff. Portions pattern. Stripes. Oblong. Randomize. Swirl. What happens? I don't want to delete the default cube and use a sphere, but I could just go and use a subdivision surface modifier and just add a couple of those to it. Or I could just use a plane, you know, that's also possible. I'm not seeing height. I don't know what that's all about. It shouldn't have to do anything with the fact that it doesn't have enough geometry, because that gets applied on the render. We just don't see displacement at all. If I switch that on or off, it doesn't really seem to matter. But maybe I can go and change that in the shading tab. I have a feeling that's probably where most of the magic's going to now show up, how they actually do this under the hood. Yes, okay. Oh, look, that's how the professionals do the... Whoops. Hello. Ah, there. This is how the professionals do mappings. Texture coordinate goes into vector, and then you have location, rotation, and scale. So scale, that is what I was looking for earlier. I think you can you go and do that with multiple? Yes, you can. Don't know what the black bars are all about. Is this somebody's broken bits off here? Yes, they have, haven't they? So then we've got alpha, we've got displacement. Dude. Where's displacement? Displacement goes back into here. And mid-level and scale. Can we just like crank that up maybe? Make more? Make more? Yes! Oh, I see. So it was actually set to 0. That was the... Whoops. Come back here. Was that the problem? It still doesn't make a difference. If I should, when I switch this off, it should just go like go. So if I switch base off, no, it doesn't. Do I need to go and hit apply again once I've made a change? Or is this refresh the material? Is that what I need to do? It is a beta version, so they do say that. It's not something, if it doesn't work properly, it might just be because it's a beta version. So like switch the base color off and the brown should go away. Maybe I should go and hit apply. Oh, I see. Trace back, something totally crashed, nothing works. RNA of type material has been removed. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Shall we try again with a new file? Yeah, let's do that. Also, after installing plugins, sometimes they just don't like Blender staying open. I mean, it's not always the case, and if it's a simple script, it'll probably work, but if it's something where magic stuff has to happen under the hood, maybe it's a good idea to just go and, bring that back and start bringing a fresh version. Delete the default cubes. Just start with just a plane, maybe? Or maybe a grid. Let's do a grid. And it is UV unwrapped, right? Just for my own... Yeah, good stuff. So that Substance 3D. This is exciting. I love this. Does it have material? It doesn't, so let's go and create one. Materials on here. It now goes, it says create. Open file browser. Okay, fine, create. Let's go download and say maybe the chocolate again, just to stick with the chocolate. See what's going on. Could not connect to Substance 3D remote engine. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Why not? It's like playing an adventure game. Let me install those tools again that our mother warned us about. This here. Or is that something that I need to install by just double clicking on it? I don't really... They haven't exactly explained this well. Substance add-on, but the installation integration tools here. Automatically attach material. I think this is when you go and load in a material that then just goes and applies itself directly to the material, so you don't have to hit apply anymore. Oh, there's also this one here, if you wanted to have a larger version by default, not the low-res stuff. Uninstall tools, update tools. Thank you for installing the Substance 3D integration tools. Open the file browser to select the tool zip file to update the tools. 1, 2, 3. Is that what we have? Is that the version we have? No, the integration tools are 1, 4, 2. Haha! Of course it's not going to work. Update. I say update. Always update. Integration tools. Update tools. Go on. Update stuff. Make it better. Updated to version 1.4.2. Ha ha ha. Okay, let's try again. Create. Chocolate bar. Chocolate bars processing. Chocolate bars here. We go into the fully fledged rendered view. With our thing selected, we now have the new resolution here. We say apply and... It's in here, but it hasn't applied it to the object. So let's do that. Go on. Nothing happened. Why not? We're in the actual rendered view. Still nothing's happening. Why? Always update unless it's your phone. That is a good idea. Do you reckon? Okay. Chris reckons delete this material. Yes! Chocolate bar! No height information. Dang! But hey, people have been biting things out of here. That's awesome. Let's make it 4K. Does that do anything? No. Gotcha. Oh, we need to go and apply that then. Oh, refresh. Should I have done refresh? Just do refresh. Does that do? Update that jaggy edges thing. No, make it 4K. Come on, do that. Go refresh, reapply, do something. Ah, it doesn't work. Beta version junk. No height map, no nothing. Oh, it's still processing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just impatient. What was I thinking? It's still processing. double click to rename as well. Still processing. Okay, 4K was a bad idea. I'm not going to do 4K again. Fine. But not even After Eights are that flat. Even After Eights have some substance to it. Do you know, Nate, and you're absolutely right, every time I do it, my phone just turns slower and eventually it just turns into an unusable thing. The last time I upgraded mine was when they introduced the dark mode. I really like that. But, you know, search function, back in the day with iOS 12 or whatever on it, you type something in and things actually come up. Today, with iOS 15, I type stuff in and I have to literally wait 6 seconds before anything shows. And you go, hey, that is not something I'm asking you to do. So Chocolate will be processing for the foreseeable future. Jay will close Blender and is no longer interested in the 4K chocolate thing. That's what happens. It's the Claire character. She just came in like that. I think I just loaded her, and all you may have to do is change the rendering mode at the top. Let me show you again how that happened when I just downloaded her from just the file that came in. Once Blender comes back. I remember this starting a little bit faster as well, back in the day. 4K calorie chocolate bar. You need to update your life. Crazy stuff. So default cube gets out. Yeah, so if I go and import the FBX, like sitting angry, that should work. I think we had modified that. Yes, sitting angry, that should work. This is just something for Mac quickly. There we go. Oh yeah, he's got his. Oh, maybe have you downloaded him with skin from Mixamo? So if he looks like this, you just switch over here to the viewport shading mode, and then Blender will take a second to calculate the materials, and then they should all be there. And if that doesn't happen when you switch this over, then in Mixamo you may have not had this with textures option on download. That is possible. Come on, Mixamo, there he is. Download. And then, oh, they've changed it yet again. Oh my god, could you guys stop changing things around on the Mixamo interface? Now we can change A-pose or original. Oh man. And now we can't actually change the thing with or without the skin anymore. Meg, that's terrible, because back in the day, we could just use here FBX, and then it would come up, would you like keyframe reduction, or would you like with and without skin? I would imagine they just put them in by default now, but if they don't, web interface. Well, at least they're working on something, but constantly changing things around. Dang, don't do that. Yeah, so there used to be that option here. What happens now then if we just go and use T-pose? It's just called AJFBX. Let's see if it comes in with textures. Wouldn't put it past them that they may have changed anything. There's nothing particular that we need to set here, I don't think. Dang! Yes, but he comes in with texture, so that's good. So if that doesn't happen for you, have a look on the shadings tab, and then with him selected, obviously. See if the textures are mapped. So I don't think they're called anything spectacular. Mine are just called here file 12 and file 14 and stuff like that. But they should all be there. This is the, what is that, the roughness map? Yeah, specular. Specular. And then this one here is the body map. And then on his whoops. On his face, he should have a couple of other material zones. So these are the eyebrows here. And these are the eyes. He has love eyes as well. Maybe he's going to fall in love with Claire. Who knows? Nancy, how's it going? Nancy, this morning I'm playing with Blender and I'm blundering my way through it. Oh, they're there, but you have to reapply them. That is weird. Huh. Nancy, let me show you what I've done this morning in relation to this. That was, I added some, so we took essentially, we looked at things like his eyes and we thought, hey, there's a way to apply all these different eye shapes to a model like that. And what we've built here was a little animation. So they then change in accordance with with time, and so we've given Claire some funky expressions, and not only does she sit there and move around subtly, but she's also now, you know, blinking at us and smiling, and she's not quite happy because she has to wait and stuff. So not bad, right? Isn't that cool? And this is all just animated textures by the same principle, and all of this kind of comes out of Mixamo, and all we have to do is get inventive and creative with this, all for free. That is kind of cool. And Meg is trying to apply this to AJ and give him some extra life in her game, which is really, really cool. You should check out her channel. That is full of Unreal Engine development videos. If you want to keep tabs on what Meg is doing and how she's doing this, that is the channel to take a look at. But what I'm currently in the process of playing with is actually, and we could just keep the default cube in because we delete him far too often, is the Substance 3D integration, which, check it out, it's currently disabled. Why is that? Haven't we just enabled that? Why is that? I can't enable this every time I want to use it though, right? This is when you enable an add-on, it stays enabled, doesn't it? Substance 3D add-on for Blender is enabled. Really? There's no integration tools in here anymore? Something is seriously wrong, isn't it? Because didn't we have that? Do I need to install it again? I could have sworn I've done that. Windows tools, add that on. Give it a second. So when they said beta version, they were not joking. Beta version as in, we haven't actually checked if it's working. We thought we'd leave that up to you. And if it does, congrats. If it doesn't, well, it was a free beta version, so. I saw more settings there a minute ago, didn't I? Why is this not working anymore? We'll start Blender one more time. Maybe Blender had an update and I should have updated. And I'm literally, I'm doing this right, don't I? Upgrades. Update the Substance 3D add-on for Blender first. Download the add-on. Complete the compatible version. Uninstall Substance integration tools. See above. Okay. So maybe it is actually that I'm updating. I didn't know I was because this version of Blender, I never tried this out with. So uninstall the Substance integration tools from the preferences window. Remove so in Blender, right? I'm thinking remove the Substance 3D add-on for Blender. Launch Blender and install the new add-on version 4. Please make sure the file is unzipped when installing. Don't update the S3D integration tools at this point. Good stuff. For each custom preset created any blend file, don't worry about it. Update the integration tools. Make sure the file is unzipped when installing. I don't really know what that means. The Blender takes care of that though, doesn't it? Close Blender and relaunch Blender. The update is now complete. Aha. Okay. Let's uninstall, reinstall everything. Did I save the preferences? I should save automatically, but it's a good point. Let's have a look at that. So first of all, uninstall everything. Substance Painter. Let's go and oh, there they are. The tools are now in there. Maybe it works now. Maybe it works now. So this, once again, this is version 0.18.5. Is that actually the correct version? Integration tools is 142. I think I have that. 142, yes. But this one here. New add-on V4. So I don't... 0.8.2 doesn't sound like V4, does it? To be brutally honest. Oh no, they have it here. 0.18.4. And 1.4.2. So that seems to be correct. Always good to give out two version numbers to confuse everyone. So everyone who's not a computer scientist will fall at the first hurdle. Less customers, less complaints. Awesome. It's good. Anati, how you doing? Oh, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm really glad you said that. That's just always nice to hear. Hang around for a while. It's, you know, we're just playing with Blender and seeing how we can use substance materials inside Blender. So maybe everything is okay now. That could be. Maybe I'm okay here. GZ1. I like doing that. And then in here we have the Substance 3D panel. That's a good start, isn't it? Let's go and hit create. Download our chocolate bar material. Don't set it to 4K this time. Live with 1K, be happy with what you have. Also switch this over to at least the viewport shading so that we can see what's going down. Our cube has a material, and allegedly all we need to do now is hit apply, and that should overwrite this material, if I understand it correctly. No, of course it doesn't. That's nice. So we just go and delete that, and then we have the chocolate bar here. Good stuff, I think. Still haven't got a height map, but maybe it's because that is just not set on their shader, even though I would imagine it probably should. So scale, let's put that to 5. Or maybe 2, maybe that's just something other than 1. I'm thinking maybe 3 then. 3, let's do 3. And the height is in the displacement channel, and that scale is set to 0. That is why it's not showing up. So 1 would make that show up, but it's not real displacement though, is it? I'm still not seeing that. Is it only in the actual rendered view? No, also not. So that's a mystery. I don't know why that isn't working. Oh, thank you, Yoshi. I appreciate that. Any ideas what I might be doing wrong here? Is it, I mean, I could just increase the, oh, that's this object space. How about world space? Does that do anything? No, that ruins everything. No, hang on, it's fine. I'll go back to object space. I mean, it's their shader, they've set it up, so you'd imagine it's just a one-click thing that just brings everything. We can try the other shader as well. We can try the strawberry shader, maybe on a different object. 3D print chocolate, just don't eat it. So if I go GX, move you over here and not care about you, make a sphere maybe. Icosphere, UV sphere, any preferences? I don't really mind. Icospheres, all right. Let's do that. GZ1. Let's say this here is, we're going and subdivide it a bit. Like that. I'll just go and apply it so that we have a ton of geometry here. Not that we need it, but it's fine. We do have no material. That might be in our benefit. So I'll go and create a new material. I suppose that was used to be the load button previously, and we'll use the strawberry skin. Strawberry skin's coming in. Ah, there we go, and it's automatically applying it to my thing here. But again, with no, is there height information? I can just about make it out. I think there's dips and ditches in here. I think it's kind of working. Let me go shade it smooth as well. Also, are we well unwrapped? Are we? We could do a better job, could we not? With the unwrapping. I'm thinking UV. Try smart UV project. Maybe in here, like so. Is that better? Hard to say. No, it's worse, but hey, that's also cool. We drop down the scale and hope for the best. We're going to be all right, I think. Scale, can't I do that here? This is just like skin color variation. I can go and put a different color and make it slightly iller. The power of substance materials. Seed saturation contrast. I'm just thinking if there's anything down here. Maybe try to do it in 2K. Let it process. See if these jaggy edges are going away. And I'll scale them down, yeah, absolutely. Aha! So this actually looks better. I can... Maybe it's just the chocolate itself that is not a great material. This does look better. Let's go and meddle with the scale here. Displacement looks the same here. That's also cool. And scale 3 perhaps. Yes! Haha! So aside from the UV unwrapping, that's not bad. What happens if we... Yeah, look at that. Okay, cool. So I'm definitely getting a normal increase here. I just don't see it in the displacement channel as much as I had hoped. So I'm kind of, if I look at this behaves more like a normal map now rather than displacement. So displacement, I would imagine, I would expect the geometry on the side of the object to visually change in the render, and it looks like it doesn't do that. So I'm okay with that. But it works. I mean, so that is good news. I'm kind of excited to... It kind of works in the chocolate as well, I suppose. Can we make the chocolate... Yeah, I have access to it here as well. That's nice. So can we make the chocolate higher res? Process and auto apply. Don't crash this time. It's a straw cherry, yes. And it was the mouse that bit bits off. Oh, I see. So it was definitely the scale that had something to do with this. Texture scale. So 2K definitely works much better than 1K. Also light. Can we just see some of that's better in here? In the shaded viewport. Hey, not bad at all. What shall we substanize in Blender then? Just for a little quick laugh for the next half hour. Because this is really cool. If you had actual objects that you can add materials to, maybe it's a fun idea to pick up a fairly simple object from Dash Studio, import it into Blender, and just go and apply some funky materials to it. What do you think? Yoshi, good point. I could totally do that. That is a great idea because my intro doesn't have all that great materials. They're all from the Blender material library. But yeah, using real substance materials for that might be a really good idea. Like, you know, yeah, that's a great idea. The new update. Oh, of course, the cycles. Yes, of course, I'm in Eevee, aren't I? Duh! So this is why this is what the L in Chris L. Cox stands for. The legend, that is Chris Cox. Let's do cycles. Let's do cycles, and let's also default to GPU compute. Render kernels compile it every time. And then you said, need to tweak the material settings to see the displacement. So, do I need to tell Blender that I want to use displacement somewhere? Like some things have to be set, like stuff like it's caustics, and you have to enable that separately. But I don't think we have to do that with displacement, do we? Do we? I don't think we do. But that's a rad solution. Let's go and see if we can tweak the materials here. Still not seeing displacement even if I crank it up. Geometry does not change. I'll go down in settings on the material. Like here. Displacement! Here it is. Well, that's the same that I'm changing on the node, I think. Those are the same values. Is that what you mean? Yeah, it just looks like a golf ball. It doesn't look like a... I'd like for the strawberry seed indentations to really have displacements. Yeah, like dimples, exactly. That's also kind of cool about substance materials. You can just go and have one material and then turn it into different things. Like the strawberry shader could become the golf ball. Just under displacement, there's settings. Is there? I'm totally going to find... Is that? Yes. Settings, surface, volume, homogeneousness, multiple importance, displacement, bump only, displacement and bump. Ha ha ha! And we switch that over and boom! It works. Of course, yeah. Don't enable it by default because we don't want to see these things. We want to make sure they're not there. Yes, thank you, Blender. Right, now I see dimples. And now it's that subtleness as well that we were looking for earlier. And also when I crank that up, then boom! Yes! It works now. I like it. Yes, and this is now way too strong, like I would expect. This is why they left the scale at 0, I bet. But yeah, you have to enable that by... just because that's just what we need to do. Gotcha. Just out of curiosity, does this also work in Eevee? Kind of think I know the answer to that, but it does, doesn't it? With Eevee, under materials, scroll down. Oh no, we don't have that option. I get you, but it makes perfect sense. Two different render engines work differently, so that makes perfect sense. Right, Neville, which is maybe because that's why we need to add other characters to the mix. Hey, that's nice. Let's see. Let me open DAZ Studio and see if we can find a prop that we can quickly apply substance materials to and see what that looks like. Okay, if you figure out what it is, Chris, do let me know. I know the render engines work very differently, and certain things need to be enabled, disabled. Like, did you know? I have a feeling. Do I know where it is already? Let's see. Is it that at the top here under Eevee, I think we usually add ambient occlusion and we do screen space reflections. That makes Eevee look a lot better already. But I wonder if there's also something in regards to shadows, indirect lighting, performance, volumetrics, motion blur, subsurface scattering, depth of field, and bloom. But I don't see anything that's obviously jumping out at me. It could well be that that it's here somewhere. You're very welcome, Eric. You're very welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That is what it's all about, enjoying these things rather than turning them into a painful nightmare, which I think we've all experienced at one point. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's great. I'm glad you're here as well. Display. Oh, okay, that's how we do that. We just add a displacement modifier to the whole object. So we leave the material as it is, and then we just go and add modifier. That's a bit of a cheat, isn't it? Displacement modifier. Ooh, hello. And then we have that. I bet here we have to then go and that does that, but it hasn't got the map, so I bet it needs to now have the map here, I suppose. That does that. Or does it have it by default already? I mean, it literally makes the object twice as big. What happens if we, on the material, if we now go and change this? Do we see anything? No. Good stuff. Do we see anything now? We can't. No, we saw that earlier. Vertex group. Direction, normal. Yes, I like. Make a new texture. It's creepy. What happened to it? So strength 0 is then as if nothing's happening, right? But then strength 0.1 does that. How about minus 0.1? Does that make it larger? Is that really what we want? Minus 0.5? Does it do anything? Yoshi, that is funny. I'm like that as well, though. Sometimes when I go and fiddle with parameters, and when I watch my streams back, I'm thinking, hey, that makes a nice highlight. Oh yeah, that's how I did it. So like, you know, if I try to recreate this later on, and I'm thinking I don't remember how I did this, then I watch a stream, and then there's this tip from Chris, and then, you know, very cool. Right, without a map, it's just moving everything evenly. So then how would I then get the map? Like, say if I put this to 1, say, where is this map then here? Or should we just not worry? That's another possibility. Let's just not worry about Eevee and just trust that in cycles it works. And I'm sure there's a way to take the map out somehow and plug it into here. This is actually this is a group here. So tab, I think, opens that up, and it would then have, right, this is where that map is. So it's called displacement TGA001. But why I can't exactly pick that up in here is weird. Maybe I need a texture and the map isn't quite the texture yet, or something. Is that possible? Yeah, so this is our displacement map here. But that doesn't seem to be plug-inable into here, which is a shame. because one's a texture, one's a map. How to convert these two? I don't know. I can't just go and copy paste that, can I? That'd be wrong. Oh, it kind of works, but there's nothing showing up here. So yeah, it's not. Yeah, that I don't know anything about. Because Blender, yes, that's right, exactly. The answer to everything is in cycles, Kemi. That's how it works. I like nodes. I just don't like the fact that there's so many of them. Hey, at least we made it kind of work-ish in principle, and we've also made it work in cycles, which is kind of, that's good news, I'm thinking. Let's see if there's a simple object that I can find in Dash Studio that I can just go and export and see what that would look like with substance materials on it. So maybe as an environment might be overkill. That might just be a bit much. Maybe I'll find a simple prop. Let's get started with something that's actually, you know, achievable. The cube, perhaps. Good product. Pick that up. This is a good product. It you know, it's a cube. Let's use a different one. Let's use a different one. Warrior outfit. There's rocket, Jupiter rocket. That might be cool. Jewelry. House. A car. Lamborghini. Or a Lamborghini, rather. Sci-Fi desks and chairs. So maybe in environments there might be things I can just take out. Confinement corridor is a really old set, so those would really benefit from upgraded materials. Maybe private library here. There, I'm sure there's something in here. We just have private library. Oh, there we go. No, those are render settings. I had kind of hoped there may just be a leather couch that I can use from here. Maybe there's something I can just find in files here, under all files. Isn't there something like a couch? No, of course not. Good stuff. How about a sofa? Sofa not in here. Good stuff. Yes, there is. Single sofa, R&B sofa, and a fixed sofa. That might be nice. Something super simple. Yes, here, look, this could be just what the doctor ordered. We can see if we can put some silk cushions on here and funky wood and some fabric. That's just the ideal prop to look for. Maybe even something even simpler, like this single sofa chair here. How's that? R&B. I don't really know what that is, but it's simple enough to make look elegant with literally 3 materials. Let's try that. We only have one surface area. Oh, interesting. That'll be cool if we just split these things out inside Blender. Do we have other things on here? No, this is literally the only thing we have. Just the chair is one surface group, and then we have one face group. So we're going to go split those things out in Blender. That's something I can do. Okay, settled then. Hey Wallace, how's it going? Do sci-fi, much better. I'm gonna make a new folder on here and I'll call it, it's technically a substance test, isn't it? Let's go and put that in there then. Remove that folder, go substance test. I'm doing a lot of substance testing these days. And I'll call this here the Blender chair, perhaps. Chair, whoops, that's spelled incorrectly. What was I thinking? Chair. And I will use the Dash Studio preset. I'll go and make it 1%. And since we don't have surfaces, I might not even write any because there's just nothing on here. So I'll go and do that and select and just basically do all of that in Blender. Set that up. Sorry, default cube, that you have to go again. It's just such a shame. He gets deleted every time. Substance test blender chair, here he is. And I'm not going to split this. I might keep the polygroups we have. Here he is, correct scale and all. So I suppose the first thing I need to do is set some material zones up so that I can put the different materials on the different zones here. So in edit mode, let me go and split this one out as a cushion. So I'll hover once you're in edit mode. That's tab. Tab gets you into edit mode. A will toggle everything on the selection. If you want to select only the items that are linked with one another, you can hover over it and press L, and then A will unselect everything. Then this one here, L, would do this part. If you want to add something else like this part, you can press L again and then just select those items and add them to it, essentially. There's other ways of selecting things, but I'm thinking this is going to be good for the cushion. So I'm going to go and add a new material now, and I'll call it cushion. And then I need to assign my selection here. I think that's how it works. If I go and unselect that and then just have the cushion and say select, then only the cushion should appear. Default is everything else. So I think if I go and select that now, the cushion is no longer in there. Yes, that is correct. So then maybe these two items here, that and that. That is, if I remember that correctly, this is kind of a different upholstery or something. So let's create a new material and call that upholstery, perhaps. And then we're going to assign that to that as well. And what we're left with is essentially the wood. So that's cool. Let's just call that wood. And then we're done here. So those are our material zones. And now I can go and add funky little materials to those things in the Blender, like substance materials. You can, yes, you can. You could do this directly in Dash Studio. So if you like, in this case, if you don't have with the material, sorry, with the geometry editor. So yeah, while we're talking about that, let's have a quick look at that. So geometry editor. Under Tools, Geometry Editor, make sure you have the Tool Settings tab open. And then you have, currently we only have one chair, which is everything. But if you wanted to add the cushion to it, you can go and select that and then create yourself a new surface zone from that. So that's a little tricky in Dash Studio because we don't have these elegant selection tools that we have in Blender. So I could go and paint my selection on here and then just go and grow the selection. So that'll work by control clicking and then using the plus icon on the numpad. And that's now selected the cushion here. And so with that selected on surfaces, right click on this and say create surface from selected, and then you can say this is the cushion, and then we have the cushion, and that is now a different material zone than the rest of it. So let's try the same with the upholstery here. I'll go and just paint my selection on here, and then Control Plus will extend that to just this item, which is nice, so it doesn't go any further. I also want to add this here, so I'll go and maybe Control select that, Control plus all these things. Let's just say that's all that selected. On surfaces, right click, create surface from selected. And once again, I'll call it upholstery. That is that. So now, clear selection. So these two things, they appear to not have materials because I haven't assigned anything yet. But this now here, the last one here, chair, is now the thing I would call wood. So you can double click on this and just say wood. And that is that. So now we have 3 material zones, and they are the same that appear now on the surfaces tab. cushion, upholstery, and wood. And since they were all the same, I can now go and just, if I wanted to, copy this and paste that on the other two surfaces. And then everything is back to normal. But the good thing now is if I wanted to have the cushion in a different color, I can go, or maybe the upholstery in a different color, I can just add to the base. Maybe I'm in for something like mauve, like so. And then, you know, you have different colors here. And then, of course, if you have different maps, you can add those as well. You can now add different shaders and stuff. So yes, there's a lot of flexibility there, absolutely. Oh, right-click selection, select connected, really? Ah, Chemi, that is very cool. I don't think I've seen that one. Let's try it out. Selection, select. Select boundary, select loop. Oh, it does do loop. Oh, look at that. Select connected. Uh-huh. And did it work? It didn't work. Let's try a wire texture shaded. Select. Do I need to select something first? Like just a little bit, maybe? And then say select connected? That's probably how it works. So, haha, Chemi! Shrink, grow, I knew that. Select connected does this! Yes! The Chemi! 1,000 points! Select the vertex first, Wallace. That is exactly how it works. Oh, that is very sweet. That's interesting. So we have two options then. So my way was always just select something and then Control plus on the numpad until, you know, the selection is grown to its boundary. So it's essentially like the same thing as loop in Blender. But hey, select connected, even better. And then just loop selection. That is also cool, isn't it? So you go and select this here. I don't know if it's going to work on this, but selection, loop selection. Can you do it? It might not be able to do it. It might not be able to do it. It's probably more something for things like a sphere here. That's probably better suited to loop selections, I would imagine. Like, you know, select one item first. It's a little difficult to see, but you can just about make it out here. So one vertex, select, loop, ding. Oh, it doesn't work. What a shame. It's, yes, one of those things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Hey, good to know. Thank you so much. The pillow has no edge loops. Yeah, that's why I was thinking maybe it just, but then it doesn't work on the sphere either. Maybe it works with an edge rather than a face. It could just be, it just works with an edge. Does it do this? Loop, yes, there we go, it does that. So it only does it with edges, that makes sense. And then with an edge like this here, select loop, it does that, yeah, perfect. Only works with edges. Makes me wonder, would it have worked on the cushion had we tried it with edges? It works! Ha ha ha! Very funny, isn't it? So funny! You need to select an edge for the loop. There we go. Works on the cushion too. Awesome stuff though, isn't it? Very cool. Hey, back to the problem at hand, adding substance materials to this. So I suppose then the first item of business is deciding what we might want to put on what. So wood, I think I have some wood materials, but I can always do with more. So let's start with the wood, create something, and we haven't got anything. So let's go to the substance site, community assets. Let's check those out. Those are free. You're currently on the new version of Substance 3D Community Assets. Good to know. You can still access the previous version of Share through this button. When you say, oh, old Share, gotcha. Data won't be automatically migrated. Fine, it's all good. So we go and say wood. And I suppose type is then, do you want a material, smart material, atlases, decals? All right. Oh, fantastic. So maybe smart materials then. No, maybe we'll just use everything here. Kelly Reco made this wood. That might be nice. Smart material. Reclaimed stuff. Malte Resenberger Losmann. We're totally going to go and download that. That is the wood I want for my chair. But I might also want to try Harold DeLuca's wood plank. Do you know, Wallace, Chris brought this to my attention. Did you know that there were 2 subscriptions to Substance? And so I knew there were 2, but the second one is the one that contains the Substance Stager and gives you more assets. But they jacked the price up on that from 40 to 50 a month as well, which is, I'm thinking, when did that happen? So yeah, don't forget Substance Painter and Designer and, I don't know, Sampler, maybe? Don't know about Sampler. They are available as standalone versions from Steam. So if you're interested in not the subscription, but a standalone one-off payment, use the Steam version. So those are available as one-off payments. And usually around Christmas, they go on sale for like, 30% off. And then they cost you only $100 and you get to keep them forever. So, just saying. Let's put wood on the thing here. Chocolate strawberry. What, they're not in downloads anymore? Hang on a minute. Where are they then? Didn't I just download these? Wood plank. Oh, they're smart materials and I can't use them? Oh, look at that. I didn't know that. I had assumed you could. So you can only use base materials in Blender at this point. They may improve that, but currently it's base materials only. So the smart materials, they don't let you do that. These are base SBSAR, but the smart materials don't work. Oh. Interesting. How fascinating. I didn't know that. So we need to have a base wood material then. Like oak, wood panel, perhaps. Wood base, smooth wood. This one then. Kelly Reco's wood. And this we can't use, I'm afraid. That's not a base material. But this one's going to be good. This one, Max Mittenkopf. Wood panel, that is also nice. Let's try both of these. Right, see the stuff you need to know, Wood panel. Let's try that. Also look in at least material preview before we go and pop it on there. 1K, we'll use that for now and say apply to the wood. And it actually does this. So this is not something that I have worked out to do. What happens if I wanted to apply that to here? And now it just pops it into this. So that's not really what I want to do now, is it? How do I get around that? How do I apply it to just this material here? Does this work? No, that's just recalculating that. That's uncool. Attach the selected substance material to the selected object. Why doesn't that work now? Why wouldn't that work? What's this? This is duplicate. It's in here, but it's not on here. Badly. Should I just go and delete that? But then nothing happens. That's not what I want to do. Do I need to... Are you making me go and do this really difficult way to say, go into edit mode and then just go and literally do that, and then we go and assign that to that? Is that what I need to do? Yeah. How bad is that? That's uncool. There's got to be a better way to do that. But then perhaps there isn't, and Jay needs to just work differently. That's usually what happens. Jay can just go and, do whatever. That also doesn't look as high res as I had hoped. Which is a shame. I'd rather not apply a 4K map to a pillow. Blender Bridge isn't going to help me in this case because I'm dealing with substance material, so that has nothing to do with the bridge. 4K looks the part. Little cumbersome. Also, that was now, of course, on the cushion. I didn't want to put that on there, so totally not what I meant. So I need to put that onto the wood. Let's put the wood on the wood. So select that and then just go and assign that. Is that how we do that? Yes. That is how we do that. And then we deal with all the other funky things like UV rotations next. And UV scale, I suppose. That's on the material then. And that is, where was that again? Whoops. That was on here, wasn't it? So scale 3 perhaps, 5 even, and then rotate. Which one is it? Not that, maybe the X? No, of course not. It's the Z. Yes, perfect. So 90. Goodie. Maybe even more scale, like 8-ish. Let's not worry about the pillow. We'll add a different material to that. Nice. Let's try the other wood that we've had here. Just wood. And is it then that I can at least apply this to here? Is that how that works? Like, no, it just goes and pops it in here. So that is, I have a feeling that's probably not how it's supposed to work. I think you'll be meant to do this without a round trip into edit mode. I have a feeling. Assign that to that. Put that to that. Wait a second while it's processing. Can we do other things while it's processing? I think I can. And go make that. Yes, that works. Make that like 8. And then make that 90. And that looks not so good. So let's go and use the other one. That looked much better. Okay, fine. This. Delete. And then we're there. Perfect. Well, fabric for the pillow. Let's see if we can find anything like that. So we have like fabric, maybe. That is a nice pillow. Simple fabric mesh, floral fabric. Fabric suit vintage. Now that might be good on the pillow. Jeans fabric. Leonard Deems, I like it. That is my pillow. I tell you, that is my pillow. Oh, this one here. Leonard Deems, yes. I love your work. Let's have that. That's a good pillow. That, yes. He keeps eating the chocolate. So funny. Leonard Deems, we're going to use your material on the pillow. Still processing the wood. Okay, let's not worry too much about that, I guess. Add... Was it leopard print? I think that was it. Well, no, that's not leopard print. It was called this one here. Fabric Substance 003. Good title. Here it is. We make it... Well, we leave it there. And then in edit mode... Dang. We go and select the cushion. Select. And then we go... Ah, man. Do I have to do it in edit mode? Is that it? And we just go and do that? No, of course not. Then we do that and say assign. Well, we say cushion select. Oh, it doesn't do it anymore. Good stuff. We just go and do that. Fine. And say assign that. Why make it easy if it could just be much more complicated? Let's do that. Complicated is the way to go. 2K is good, maybe? Is that what I saw here? Yeah, I guess it bears a small resemblance. Ah, yeah, there we go. Good stuff. That's my pillow. And then maybe on the rotation. No, not that rotation. Not that rotation. Maybe this rotation. No, was it this rotation? I can't. Yeah, I like it like that. Something just a little off like so. That's funky. I like it. Now we need something for the upholstery here. That's also technically fabric, isn't it? Geometric flowers, perhaps. Or something Russian. Now that is the perfect IKEA fabric, isn't it? Canvas linen. Oh, now this. Michela Di Stefano, yes. Some really cool materials here. That is very cool. They're all free. So this actually, to answer your chocolate, to answer your earlier question, yeah, have a look at the Substance Share site. So substance3d.adobe.com/community assets. Let me go and put that into the link. Make sure I apply an S at the end. Those are free. And then, of course, there's also a Polyhaven. They also have things like that. Embroidered pattern fantasy. Yes. I say yes. Embroidered pattern fantasy. Or this one is just floral pattern. I like. So we go upholstery, select, and then, dang, had to put that in there. No, that's go there, go put that there. I'm sure there's a better way of working with that, but this is literally my limitation of understanding how and why things don't work the logical way. Select material, hit apply. No, what happens? It just goes and creates a new material that isn't applied to what the thing that you had actually selected. You have to go and redo all your work and then reassign it again, because that's the practical way to do it. And you go, yeah, I disagree, but that's just me. So there's probably something I'm not doing right. So scale? Yes. 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 This is beautiful. I might make it a little darker here, just maybe by adding, not using white, or just doing a color ramp. That might work. Or unless I have also adjustment options in here under technical parameters. So sometimes that's apparently in here. Just not today. Good. Not today. Yeah, just make that a little darker. Also maybe a little bit more high res. Processing. Yes, look at that. The stitching. Awesome. Tuck, if you're still here, or Chris, can you help me with adding a different, like literally a color overlay to this? Can you guys do that? So base color just comes out here and goes into base color here. So that's the texture then. So I just like to change the color from, just to make it a little darker. Is that something we can do? Just with color maybe? Brightness and contrast, is that all it is? Actually, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Brightness down. That's all I meant, really. Mix color node, probably even better. Let me try that. Mix color node. If I do this first and then add... Thank you, Chris. I like it. Mix color node. Would that be in color? Mix RGB, that one? Or RGB curves. That's also possible. Mix RGB. Let's try that. And then maybe instead of mix, can I just go darken? Does that work? And the other color is darker. Like that. Does that work? Kind of working-ish the way... No, it's not actually working at all the way I thought it was going to be. I could just go black and then do the... There we go. I think that's it. Let's use mix and then fiddle with the slider here. That's kind of what I mean. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Mix color node, Chris. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll just go and tone it in something a bit different. Make it aged. Actually, that looks terrible now, doesn't it? Black looked good. Yeah, maybe I'll just use black and not mix it in with the color tone. I just meant, you know, this is a bit harsh. Just tone it down a tad. But is mix really the thing I want to use? Is it maybe add instead? It is not. Thank you. Linear light, soft light, overlay. Perhaps. Divide, saturation, hue, color dodge, screen lighten, color burn, maybe. Burn, baby. Now I have to cover it with clear plastic. That's another interesting thing to do. How do we mix two substance materials on top of one another? That could be interesting, that you take this whole shader and just plug it into a mix shader and then add another shader to it and see if you can combine the two. That's also interesting. So add was also not what I wanted. Maybe the least terrible is mix. Maybe I'll use that. It's also not quite what I had in mind, but it'll do for now, maybe. Tempted to do the same on the wood. I like the wood a little bit darker here. Can we make that happen somehow? By somehow taking the wood here. There we go. That don't need to be in edit mode for that. With the wood. Color mix here. Ding, it pops right into place. That's very nice, isn't it? So this, I might just pick something like a dark brown, perhaps. Give it that extra pizzazz. Groovy! Let's see if we can make a funky render out of this, shall we? Substance materials in Blender. That is nice. I think maybe the wood scale actually is still a little large. Oops. We can't do any edge wear effects here without taking it into Substance Painter. Although I'm sure there's something along those lines in Blender as well. Sweet. That's our ground. Maybe we can bring in a ground material, like an asphalt or something. Anything like a floor. Do we have floors here? Yes, floor tiles like this. Sci-fi floor tiles, yes. I'm loving it already. Bzzz. Let's bring in those floor tiles. Sci-fi tiles. Oh, you got some milk. Okay. Yoshi says sci-fi as well. Yeah, I think I need more. I need more coffee too. Coffee without milk. Sci-fi floor tiles. Check. I like it. So I think the best was really just to have the material or have the object without anything applied. No materials at all. And then we just go and let Substance plonk it all on there. Yes, sci-fi floor tiles. Nice. And then let's set up a funky camera here. That is under, I think under here. Like that. And then we go, no, that's not it. Like this here, maybe? Like that. No, that's also not it. Dang! Why not? Do we have a camera? We do. That is it. And then with the camera, show off that beautiful creation here. I think maybe just change some of the settings here. Give it a little slightly longer focal length here, maybe 120. Oh, that looks a little bit too orthographic now, doesn't it? Let's try 28 instead. Yeah, that just makes it look more like a 3D object then, I suppose. And then with the exciting tiles here, yeah, let's do that. And then, because obviously we're professionals, we're going to use a little bit of depth of field so that we can blur out some of the background things here. That is under here, depth of field, and the object we want to focus on. I might need a helper object for that. I might, if I pick the chair, I have a feeling it's going to not be quite as in focus as I'd like it to be. So I might go and create myself a focal helper object for that, which is just an empty single, just like arrows is probably going to be great. Focus helper. And then this, we can go and put literally just here. It currently doesn't matter, but we'll be able to see the focus change. So if I go and put this on my focus helper now and go and have a look at this in the rendered view, which we're going to do in cycles, of course. Cycles, there we go. Cycles with GPU. Bit of light as well. Can't be without light. Where's the light? This is the light. Oh, we can probably point this add the focus helper. That's a possibility, so we don't have to fiddle with the light rotation. But we're probably okay without it. Size, make that a bit bigger. And then take that down a notch. Sweet. And then maybe we'll have another light coming from the other side here. The light, we'll call that one maybe the... let's say it's called the key light. It really, I mean, it's kind of, you know, it doesn't matter that much. We'll go and Shift D that light and say we put that kind of from here. It'll create that weird white spot here, so maybe we're okay with that. Or I just use a point light here, so rather than creating it again, I'm just going to go and make just a point light here. Bring that slightly up and then move that slightly, whoops. Slightly over there. Maybe turn that into an area light. Maybe turn that at the focal point. Nope, that's not it. I think, was it damped track or clamp 2? I think it was damped track. Or was it track 2? I think it was damped track. And then the target object is the focus helper, and then that just points there. That might be easier. Well, not ROM light, it's kind of the rim light, I'm thinking. And then with a little bit more oomph here. Point, I have made that an area light, haven't I? Square, yeah, perfect. So maybe a little larger. Are you pointing in the right direction, my friend? No, you're not. Ah, you're not. Rim light constraint is actually doing the wrong thing. There, that's it. That's got it. That's got it. And then with a little separation light here. Goody! So, background of that should be a little darker to make it more sci-fi. And, of course, camera depth of field. Depth of field, maybe point like this. Still not quite. That's a bit too depthy, isn't it? So maybe 1.8. Let's try that. And then F12. See what happens. Launcher on a large floor, exactly. Hoping the depth of field is going to come out nice and sweet. It's not quite as strong as I saw it in the viewport there. So we need more of that. Yeah, to just get rid of all the textures on the bottom. Maybe it's a little too busy on the bottom. Maybe I should have something more simple because the chair is already super busy. So let's try something let's try more of an f-stop, so maybe 0.8. Is that cool? That gets very blurry very fast. 0.6 or something, even like 0.2. That's too much, isn't it? Yeah. 0.8 at the most, I'm thinking. 0.8 at the most. Yeah, maybe the floor is a little busy. Let's see if we can make that just, you know, less busy. Maybe just less tiles. Because I do like the idea that we see there's something more going on. Let me just change the scale, leave the material as it is. That's on, this is ground, isn't it? So ground, and then in the materials, under shading, yeah, but no, I'm not sure. I think we need a plainer ground. What do you think? Back and all fancy, Chris. That is interesting. Let me find a different sci-fi for sure. Let's search for sci-fi. Not sci and fi, maybe just like sci-fi, like this. Now that's a good floor. This could be a good floor here. Or that. Or that. Torus lines. And maybe this one here. Ivan Kakaris. Sci-fi floor. Let's try that. So, oh, I can do that in here, can't I? This substance. Create, just to make that interface just a little more cluttered than it already is. Sci-fi floor. Okay, and we just go and hit apply. Nothing happens, so go and have to delete that somehow. Then also that does that. Perfect, no worries. It makes perfect sense. We just go and hit apply just again or something. If we mix this together with a darker color, maybe just takes away from the fact that there's a lot of stuff going on. Just make that a little less. Yeah, the intergalactic showroom. Do we like it parallel, or do we like it but with a bit of variation? I can't tell. It's almost like I like it, but I'm not entirely sure. What do you think? Bryce, yes, absolutely. Yes, that reminds me of Bryce myself, absolutely. Maybe I like it that parallel. It has something weird to it. I just want to change it to shift a little bit, kind of left and right, like so. Yeah, as if the chair's on the track or something. Yeah, and I'm thinking if I just go and mix in a little bit more black into the color to make it dark. That's an awesome tip with the mix RGB node there. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Just black, and then go and like. Is that really what I need here? Technically, also to get rid of all the other bits and pieces. It's almost like I want to have. Let me try something else. I'll go and get rid of this and go put that color back. I might just go and make a new BSDF shader and put this and that into mix shader. I'm thinking Let's see if I can work out how to do that. Once the music is back, maybe a bit of this. I like it. So new shader. This is exciting, isn't it? Could do gloss shader. Could do glass shader. Ooh. No, just regular principled BSDF shader. That. Put that in there and just make that just black. Or dark gray. Just black is probably good. And then we need another one, which is going to be a mix shader. We put that in here, and then we put the other shader into here. Whoops, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. That goes into here. And then we just mix regular black, glossy or not glossy, whatever, into that. So this is 100% the substance shader, and this is just 100% my black shader. But I'm thinking his surface color, did I make that black? I thought I did. And then roughness, I'd like it a bit more glossy, like so. Maybe not super glossy, but glossy. And then I can just mix the substance shader in a little bit. So rather than having it like that, I can just go and do that. Ha ha ha! Yes, I like it. So we're not overloaded with the surface, with the circuit board. That isn't bad. Oh, the other thing is I always forget how to do this. If you're in here, I think you can go and hover over viewport control space, and then you have that in full screen. So if you ever needed to, if you have a ton of clutter on it and you think, hey, I'm just working with this, you can just go and click that one window, and then it'll just open up. That's kind of nice. I keep forgetting to use that more. Hey, this isn't bad for something that I've just cobbled together with limited knowledge of how anything works in Blender. That is not bad. Brian, good point. I have never saved this file at all. I might do it now. That's awesome. Cobbled together stuff. I'm totally going to do that, Brian. That is just so cool. Save, Jay, save. This is still part of the substance tests, aren't they? Sci-Fi chair. It'll be on my OpenSea profile soon. You wouldn't sit on that chair. It gives me the Twin Peaks vibe. Indeed. So it's not the red room, it's the black room essentially. Isn't that cool? Yeah, we could also, I mean, that's another thing we could probably try with the sculpting tools. Just put a subdivision surface modifier on this and just make a little dent in here as if somebody's sitting on there, and go to town with those types of tools. She3PO, thank you so much for the coffee donation. I appreciate that. That is really nice of you. I wonder, do we need that? Doesn't hurt to try. What's the geometry on this? Hey, nice. I think this is my favorite. This is the render, isn't it? This is the render. What did I do? Shift, oh, it's Control Z. I meant to do Shift Z. What does Control Z do then? Have I irreparably broken something? I have, haven't I? I broke it. I like it, but I broke it. Thank you so much for the coffee. I appreciate that. What does Control Z do in Blender? Good thing I've just saved it. Thank you, Brian, for reminding me of that. Let me quickly render this version out because I do like that as well. Viewport, I like the viewport denoised as well. And then in the render, I think 1496 is a tiny bit much here. I think 1000 iterations is more than enough. And we like denoise, and we like not open image, we like optics denoise. In the viewport, we probably also want optics, really. See what that does. Pink plastic is so 80s, isn't it? Now it's 1000 iterations, and we're going to do optics denoise in here. And it retains the patterns. I wonder what it does. Control Z in Blender. Crazy stuff. Madness Middles, thank you so much for the coffee donation. I really appreciate that, Madness. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. And the Callie is here. So nice to see you all. And share this crazy experiment with you all. This doesn't look bad, I have to say. Even though Control Z is not something that I understand. Control Z undoes your last action, right? That's what I thought. But it's in Blender it does something else. In Blender it turns everything into pink, which is interesting. I like it though. I just don't get it. Let me go and save that. It's a Sci-Fi chair. I'm going to make a new folder called renders. Pink surprise, I'll call it. And now I'll just go and quickly open the previous one, which looks much better. I can show you that. There were materials on that and stuff. Fuchsia color, yes. Now we find out that the substance integration thing doesn't actually save any of the changes you've applied. They are only available once, and you've seen them all. And, oh, I haven't switched it over to Thingamajig. Good stuff. Rendered view. Yes, this looks much less cool than the other one. But why don't I combine the two in Photoshop? 1000 samples. Denoise, we'll use optics. And then viewport, we can also use denoise. And we're going to use optics here as well. So I'm going to go quickly over save that. I don't really get the texture on the cushion anymore, but that's probably also okay. Let's blend the two things together. Yeah, that's the texture there. Yeah, crank it up in Photoshop, do a bit of color correction, a little vignette on there, and then try to blend the pink in, the purple in. Beautiful artwork. Or did I say 10,000? Because that's totally not what I meant. I meant 1,000 iterations. It's fine, Blender, thanks. Even though, you know, a lot helps a lot. Pink surprise. This is going to be just a Sci-Fi chair. RGB A is probably overkill. We don't need A. That's okay. Did I say 10,000? I did, didn't I? 1,000 is enough. All right. This is where that came from. So this is what it looked like in Dash Studio. As a reminder, this is the asset that we've put into Blender and dealt with applying substance materials in there. So kind of nice. Just do it all in Blender. Blend these two things together. Speaking of blending things, let's go blend these two things together. This video shows you why you should save often and a lot, yes, and iteratively as well. Don't oversave the same file, very important. That's good, but you want to save different versions as well, because if something like what just happened to me happens to you and you accidentally oversave it, all of a sudden you have no backup of anything. So the pillow, did it have white stitches in the DAS version? I don't think it did. No, I don't think it did. We could put some on though with Substance Painter. Totally agree. Load both files into a stack we can do. By I think Substance Test Sci-Fi chair. Both of these. Oh, NFT. Let's NFT it, Brian. No question about it. Yeah, bizarrely, I do like both versions. So if I just knock down the opacity of the top layer and just blend that in a little bit. Maybe not even with normal. Maybe I'll do it with something, I don't know, exciting, or multiply. What does that do? Yeah, I think multiply is kind of the way I'd like to add it in there, just to give it that otherworldly shine, you know? There. Add a funky brightness and contrast layer, so make that, to really make that pop. And since it's all non-destructive, we can go and, oh no, that's not it. We can go and fiddle with this and adjust it later. What am I looking for? I'm looking for vibrance. I see maybe the pink is a little much here, so. But I think it really adds something to it, doesn't it? Without the pink, this is the plain render, and with the pink, that's kind of more the direction I'd like it to be. It has that real weird feeling to it. Add a little saturation, and then hello, there we go. And then we go and put the emphasis on him. Invert, smart object. Smart object, and then we go and add the blur, kind of this here, like so. Opacity dim down. That looks eerie and creepy. I don't want to blur this out or burn this out here too much. I could even bring some detail back if I wanted to with a copy of that. So if I'm because of my eerie color correction, if I'm losing too much information here, I could bring some of that back with a soft brush. I think I might do that here. Let's go and put these guys into a group like that, and then just go and I'll duplicate the group and put that maybe just at the above the color correction here, and that I think we can just go and merge these layers here. Oop, or merge this one down. Merge down, so we have this, and then on here I think I'll go and apply a mask that ideally I'd like to, whoops, sorry, get out, cancel, no. Was I here already? Yeah, there we go. The mask invert, indeed, there we go. And then if I paint with white, then I'm bringing that detail in. Perfect. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm up for. A soft round with maybe a little less opacity, and just blend that in with a bit of Wacom action. We're gonna have an artwork NFTable in no time. Pink is your favorite color. Mine too, actually. Do you know? Mine too. Pink purple, actually. I'm more like a purple kind of guy. I don't really know why. That is so cool. Well, actually, opacity was supposed to be 100, and flow was a little less. That was my idea. You like that? Yeah, perfect. There, detail added back. groovy. And if that was still too much, I can just go and drag the opacity of the whole, of that whole layer down, and then I can, you know, make adjustments that way. But hey, cool bananas, I think, right? Are we happy here? Right? Exactly. Old assets and just slap some stuff over it, and then, hey, imagine we go to town with painting, with sculpting tools. I can really see just adding a little ditch into here, crumpling up the cushion a little bit. I mean, what have we got to lose? Let's try, shall we? We have another 10 minutes or so. Let's save this, because that is a good composition here. That's a good color. I will not ever, Adobe, ever, let me repeat, ever use the Creative Cloud to store my files, because it is the worst cloud storage system ever. I'm so sorry, Adobe, but you really got it wrong there. Dropbox, yes. OneDrive, yes. SugarSync, BoxNet, Creative Cloud, no. It has terrible sync issues. It has not a good interface. Trust me, I've tried. Sci-Fi chair. Verizon sucks badly in the cloud, does it? Oh, I think I tried those tugs. They're a little unresponsive at times, but yeah, you know, good point. They are there, and you know, don't knock him. Don't knock Hexagon, right? It's like you and I. We're on the same level there. Hexagon is the magic machine. Let's see if we can go out of this. And I don't know if it has enough polygons to make that happen. It probably does not. So let's go and add a subdivision surface modifier. So can it handle that though? I'm just having second thoughts here. Looking at the geometry, I'm not sure if it has enough edge loops to accommodate sculpting. So it might not work. It does ish. We might not have to put it on all objects. Actually, we can though. Let's do it. 3 was maybe a little much. Blender, what say you? Give me statistics, man. 1.8 million. Yeah, okay, let's make that less. 500,000. That's okay. Apply. See what the sculpting tools can bring to the party. So just a little indent then in here. Does it even work? Kind of does, doesn't it? Bit larger this, and then hold Control to just indent this a little bit. This could be the exhibit that the aliens have found somewhere. And they're thinking, yeah, this is where humans kind of sat on back in the day. Dent that in here. I'm doing this with the Control key. So Control goes and dents things in. It's like the equivalent to Alt and ZBrush, and without anything, it just goes and comes out essentially like so. I might go and do a bit of destruction on here as well. So Control, click. I love it. Stains. Oh, that's a good idea. Stains. And then that quick 10-minute experiment turns into the 2-hour session, doesn't it? Did I say 2 hour? Because let's go smooth this out a little. There, crumpled. And I think the cushion is the same, that's the same object, isn't it? Yeah, perfect. So cushion. I'll go and use the move brush on this, or the elastic deform brush rather. Yeah, it's a shame we have, I could have separated the cushion out. That would have been a little better, but we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Oops. There. And then also, I'm thinking, because I like it, there is the cloth brush. Is that going to work on the cushion? It might not. Cloth brush might not be the best idea. Or is it? Yeah, ideally I'd have the cushion split out so I can do something separately on that. I might do that. I might just go and grab it out as a separate object. And what does this look like when I can go and undo this? What does this look like in the shaded view now? I mean, it certainly added the few extra bits and pieces in there that makes it more, you know, old. What are the chances of us separating the cushion out as its own separate thing, like Control? Was it Control P? No, it was Shift P. No, was it just P? P, that's it. Separate selection. And then that should be. It's quite beautiful, yes. I think so too. This is now not chair 001. It's now going to be the cushion. And I think so the benefit is that then we can go and just make that, give that a little different viewport color. Just so that it looks a little... Oh, did I rename the wrong thing? I think I have. Was I on the wrong material? That's what it was. There, perfect. That's all we needed. That's all we needed. Sculpt mode. Oops. Yeah, it's cloth brush. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. Makes it into a soggy little pillowcase here. Whoops. This animation is playing. That's not what I meant. And so separating it out means I don't have to worry about making a brush stroke and it accidentally applying to the chair, because that's not really what we want to do. Come on, yeah. Enough with the cloth brush. I think maybe the elastic deform is something I'd like to play a little more with. And just to crumple this up a little, like so. There, the rumpled pillow. And then a standard brush just to indent that a bit. There, it's clearly seen better days, the pillow. Isn't that cool? And all that from relatively low poly assets from their studio. Brought into Blender. Now we have a crumpled version of the chair. Be rude not to make a 4K render out of this. Sebastian, how you doing? Welcome to a bit of Blender blundering. I've taken this model of a chair out from their studio, applied new materials, new substance materials inside Blender. So I didn't use Substance Painter or anything. I just applied substance materials. And now we've come up with this, like the Alien Exhibit 1. I might just go and overwrite that. Or not overwrite that, but save iteratively. And this was the first version here. With a bit of luck, I should just be able to import our new version into here and leave all the Photoshop bits and pieces as they are. There we go. That actually works quite well. So this is the previous version and this is the new version. So that's the before and after. So we really have given just additional subtle life to the whole thing. Bit of extra sculpting there, isn't that great? Neville, thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the milk. Always nice to see you. I think the pillow is now, I think there's more, the UV scale has changed. I can see that. I think I'd like to redo that. So this pattern I liked. This is now, it has more squares. I think that's the material. So let's just go and whoops. Hello. What? There. Yeah, that's the only thing I want to quickly check. I really like Blender. But it's also the learning curve to get anywhere sensible. It's just large. I gotta say. Big learning curve. So what's this? This wasn't displacement, was it? This was that. I think it's that material. Was it? Can I bring it back to what it was before? I think it was... Oh, come on. One is that. Do we need to make it smaller then? Maybe? Oh, come on, Blender! I don't quite get the same feeling that I got with the previous pillow. Australian corned beef, oh wow, with cabbage. Yeah, that'll hang around your living room a while. That I think we had Brussels sprouts like 2 weeks ago, and I think I can still smell it. It shouldn't really have made a difference, yet it did. So that's 5, and that made it smaller. Come on, Blender, Jesus Christ, I'm doing left click and drag here. What are you not getting about this? It is so bad. Some of those aspects you think, why does it have to be that bad? No, you see, this is not what I did. Left click and drag over all. No, see, Blender, let's be friends here. Left click and drag over all the... No, Blender, what are you doing? Left click and drag over all these values. Then I type in a number. Isn't that what I do? Do you think Blender is crashing? You having Brussels sprouts now? Oh, with asparagus, my goodness. What's that smell? Homemade pierogies, all right. Do you know, I'm actually okay with leaving it where it was before. Having tried to change it and not getting anywhere, I'm just thinking, okay, fine. Let's just live with what we have and be happy about that. Or should I try and brush in some of the old texture now? You see, this is what I liked, and this is what Blender's made out of it. I mean, it's not bad, but I did like that texture better. I'm happy with the crumpled version. I'm going to post both these things on my ArtStation page, and then you can decide what you like, including the crazy pink version that we had here. That was really cool. Let me just show you that, because just pink, that was just awesome. I don't know what happened. That was literally Control-Z stripping every material off my thing, and also actually already introducing this weirdness in the normals and the displacement there. Crazy, isn't it? One of those things. Hey, my friends, it is 1 o'clock. I say good night and goodbye. Thank you so much for dropping by and having some fun in Blender with me. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for all your Ko-fi donations. I really appreciate that as well. I might be back and finish off the Day of the Tentacle tomorrow afternoon on Twitch in the afternoon, maybe like 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, something like that. Join me for that if you like. Also, Chris is streaming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to do Marvelous Designer Monday, which is now Clone Monday. Join him for that. I'll drop a link into the description soon. My friends, have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.